going to do a really quick overview of the Siplace feeders for John. So this is the IC head side of the machine, which is going to take the larger feeders in the waffle pack. This space here can mount feeders, but it can also on here mount the waffle pack, which is this device here. This goes in here and allows the trays inside the waffle pack to come out on the conveyor belt here to allow ICs to be picked off it. So this space is sort of reserved for that, and then you've got your IC feeders here for tape and your general chip feeders down that end of the machine, which will be your 8mm feeders for running your typical resistors, inductors, capacitors. So you're asking about the width of the feeders. They are kind of standardized. So this is 2 lanes on a single feeder for an 8mm tape, which is the same width as this one, which will take multiple sizes of tape. So this will take your next 2 sizes up. By removing this plate, you can see these 2 are identical. This one has the blocking plate to allow the IC to be, the smaller tape in there. And then this is with the tape cover removed, so you can use the larger style cover. This one is obviously going to be your largest size. Again, it's got the 2 sizes in one with the covering piece here, which is removed on this one. So this will take it's got a big spring on here. I'll do a full teardown of these at a later date. It's really interesting how they work. They've got a very, very simple mechanism with the motors. So this is, I think, about 1.5 widths, because you can fit 2 of these side by side, but you can't fit, if you fit one of these or one of the double 8mm, you end up with a large gap between them. There's only a small gap between these. See the feeder numbers back here line up fairly well. So you've got 1, 2, 1, 2 again, and then 1, 2, 3 lanes worth. So these all plug in down here. So this is its own 8086 processor in here, which does all the breakout for all the lanes. These just plug straight in to here when you get oriented like so, to give you, saying that this is going to be 61 to 66 lanes. So yeah, all of these just plug straight in from the cables hanging from them. So a feeder itself doesn't actually have any contacts at the end. You've just got the pins at the front, which notch into there, and then the dot at the back, which you can see is more of a button shape, and that goes into the one at the back here. So to load these, they just get slid into place like so, and then they'll drop down onto the matching button. If I can get it lined up, that would really help. The problem is that this strip here is magnetic, so it pulls the feeder down at the front, and that's all that holds the feeder down. So you've got to lock it in. It's a bit easier if I do it from the front, and then that locks down. So this just keeps it square to the machine, because this whole assembly gets dropped in by a forklift on the pin there, and there's another pin further forward. Both sides of the machine, this is a completely separate table. The other side of the machine is more obviously separate, and basically has to be removed for transport, because it has the legs down here, and this whole assembly is one piece that gets dropped in on that rail, and is hundreds of kilos. This is the other side. You can load other size feeders back here, but the star head can really only take parts which are available on a 8mm tape, because you've only got so much room in the star head. The star head's covered, so it's a little bit harder to see than the other star head. So fitting in here, there's only so much room that you've got to rotate those around, and then the camera can see. So 8mm down this side, larger ones down that side, because the IC head on the back of the machine here and the nozzle tool changer over there allows it to use the larger parts at the other side, and it's also got the up camera in the middle there rather than just the IC camera here, which gets the parts as they spin around the star head.